Welcome to a short introduction of the training and support offer with a focus on supporting mental health and wellbeing in schools, following the Keys to Inclusion training from the Psychology and Therapeutic services. We are offering drop-in sessions where you can join prepared with an idea of what you feel would be beneficial for your school or with an individual child or young person in mind. This offer for schools within the Ipswich Opportunity Area project is available free at the point of delivery and needs to be taken up in the second half of the summer term 2021. You'll now hear some of the team talk through the different support offers.
Minipath Training will help you learn about the importance of person-centered planning and how to facilitate Minipath. The training covers the importance of person-centered planning, different person-centered planning tools, and provides you with the skills and confidence to facilitate mini-paths for the children and young people with whom you work with. These tools will help you to work using a person-centered approach to improve the futures of the children, young people, and families that you work with. Minipath training is delivered over 3 sessions. The training comprises online and practical sessions in which you experience the path process, develop the skills to facilitate and graphic, and feel fully supported to practice the process. There are also videos that you can revisit to support your understanding and learning.
Team Pupil, creating a support network. Team Pupil is an approach developed and used by Louise Bomber using relational team support with in-school staff to create an emotionally and physically safe, consistent and predictable environment for children and young people moving forward from adverse childhood experiences, relational trauma and loss. The framework focuses on the importance of connection before correction, placing value on the building of trusting relationships to ensure that children and young people have strong relational buffering, initially with adults, until they have stronger internal controls. We can support schools to develop their team pupil for children and young people who are communicating through challenging behaviours or who are harder to reach. We do this via an initial call with the SENCO or the designated teacher or a member of the senior leadership team to discuss the pupil's needs and to identify the team. At the end of the sessions, the team will have a summary of what has been identified, discussed and shared, in addition to a first step, person-centred, one-page plan. The circle of friends is a popular approach to taking a wider look at the relationships in a person's life. Each successful circle generates its own stories and fresh insights into what inclusion in school means. It enhances the inclusion of a child or young person who is experiencing difficulties because of a disability, personal crisis, or because of their behaviour towards others. It also helps all circle members to develop greater empathy, self-awareness, and social interaction skills. The Circle of Friends training offers knowledge and understanding of the evidence-based approach, support for the focus person, an increase in empathy across the peer group, a more inclusive problem-solving approach, and confidence for staff to use Circle of Friends with other pupils. The training is delivered across 3 virtual sessions, and upon completion, staff will have the knowledge and skills to set up and run a Circle of Friends in their school.
Competency profiling is a technique to support young people to consider the skills and virtues that are involved in the activities, hobbies and interests they take part in. These are discussed and fed back to the young person in order to develop their existing strengths, skills and virtues, which can also be drawn upon within their educational context. Staff can encourage and support the transference of these skills, as well as improving the young person's self-esteem and self-awareness. We can guide you through the process and work through some examples, giving space for practice and reflection.
We can offer observation and discussion framed by the nationally recognised Dunn sensory profiling tool. This can include a school companion, a parent or carer response, and spans any age from infant to adult. It takes approximately 1 hour for the telephone or face-to-face consultation. It is used by clinicians and psychologists to provide score data which informs a strengths-based approach to sensory assessment and planning. Augmenting the data with discussions with the young person and those who know them best enables us to provide a detailed sensory profile. This describes and interprets seeking, avoidant, sensitive and registering behaviours across the spectrum of missing or craving sensory inputs, examining these within each sensory channel to give nuance and more personalised advice, and, for those children and young people of school age, additional information on the particular ways that this sensory profile will impact on school activities, for example, their need for particular types of support, awareness and attention. Typically, our sensory profiles are then used by educational settings and key adults to help understand, contextualise and support a child or young person's behaviours and communications. They open up new perspectives and guide supporting adults to help children and young people become more self-aware of their emotional, behavioural and physiological states. The children and young people are helped to tune in to their own sensory inputs and to begin to modify their responses and to self-regulate. The sensory profile gives a range of suggestions for modulating activities which adults can support with confidence through modelling strategies of calming or arousal and by being very explicit about noticing emotional and physiological states, making such vocabulary part of everyday conversations. This impacts on the children and young person's ability to focus, to tolerate their environment, and to interact.
Precision monitoring is an effective strategy that helps pupils develop and maintain high levels of fluency and accuracy. It works across any skill area that can be measured and allows adults to monitor and track each tiny increment of progress to see what works best and what might need changing. Young people can experience this as a set of achievable goals to build on the familiar, and it's an enjoyable, creative and fun way to learn at their own pace, so they can see themselves making progress every single day, gently challenging their expectations of their own abilities so they can see themselves as a learner. The training offer includes an online video that can be accessed at your own pace. Moreover, there's direct support for school staff to help them become familiar with the process and have help when planning a session for or with a young person. And there will also be reflection time to discuss what went well and to think about some next steps.
Thank you for watching. Please join any of our drop-in sessions to find out more. Join us on Thursday the 10th at 12:30 p.m. or 3:30 p.m. or Tuesday the 15th at 10 a.m. or 1:30 p.m. Please email psychology and therapeutic services at suffolk.gov.uk to receive an invite for your preferred time.